Today was a brief day of just working for a little bit of time to fulfill the requirement of the challenge. I am very much focused on doing my job right now, but we did get some fun things done in the track. We moved this little sound we made yesterday, this little sweeper sound, into a few different places. It was a nice sound, so let's use it more than just in the one spot where we built it for. And then we worked on some handoffs in our vocal area. We have kind of two different channels going here. One that is just kind of the basic vocal, and then the other that is a more processed vocal, mainly that has a tremolo on it. And when I listen to them in isolation, but just kind of like listen to the section, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. But then when I listen to the track all the way through, I noticed that the tremolo really like jumps out at me. So I made it more gentle. There was a few things I did to help with this. The first was just actually add a kind of fade transition between the two so that it's not just a hard cut from a tremoloed sound, from a not tremoloed sound to a tremoloed sound. And then more importantly, we automate the tremolo's depth to fade in. So now it has more like this sort of gentle transition to it. The tremolo effect kind of builds over time, especially on that one there. Over here, we let it be a little bit stronger because there's more sounds going on. Because by like here it's kind of fading out of relevancy, I want that tremolo effect to be stronger earlier on. And there's just other sounds that are starting to grab your ear. We then added some automation over here on the end to get our tail to move out of the piece nice and cleanly here. Previously it had just been like a lot of audio just kind of dropping off the face of the planet all at the same time. So the tail now sounds like this. And it could be maybe a little bit cleaner. I could maybe use this over here at the end. But having this sample go up, you can see kind of there, that's the high pass or the low pass filter going up. So taking out all the bass frequencies and just making this do, and then fading it out pretty heavily on the gain there. This sound by itself raw, we don't really play anywhere because it has a lot of AI stem extraction artifacts in it. The AI extraction just did not, and Logic did not do a particularly good job of grabbing those drums. So as I start to sweep up through this, there's a few times where it kind of like almost accentuates those artifacts, especially as the texture is really sparse over here. So we have that fade out pretty heavily. And then we also have our drum little topper up here fade out, which is the other busiest part of the texture. And it's just gone. And as that shing sound comes in over the top of it, those two things, we don't really, it covers up the kind of drop-off sound there. Could be cleaner, but again, this is a house track, so that little end, but not as important. I'm happier with that end. And that's really all I did. I spent a decent amount of time trying to figure out a way to add a little bit of texture to this sort of sound here at the beginning. On one of those things I was trying is still on here, the shaper box. I was messing around with the time shaper, I messed around with a filter shaper, I messed around with actually doing a chop. I really think that just kind of on like the 16th bar I want something to be slightly different, but all the chops I tried stood out too much and created some kind of resonant pops that I didn't like, and I really don't want to put a compressor on this sound. I like the place it's at right now. I just want it to be slightly more interesting on just the 16th bar of every 16 bars. So I just want there to be a little bit of like a ticka-ticka-da, or just like a slight rhythmic change. So messed around with a few different things, none of which worked. I will do different things tomorrow, see if I can find something else that works. But yep, the piece is actually in a really nice spot mix-wise right now. We pulled everything down just half a step, and that created a nice spot where like I'm pretty happy with that amount of compression. There's not a lot of limiting going on there. One thing I don't know about in these videos is how much of the track to show you guys. So if you have an idea of, if you got to this point in the video and you're like, I really want to hear more of this piece, please let me know. I'm happy to play this like all the way through. But maybe I'll wait until I have the track all the way done and produce like one video where it's like, here's the track playthrough all the way and here's the link to SoundCloud if you want to listen to it. I don't know. Trying to figure out, especially in these ones where I'm just doing like a little tiny little details, how much music to actually put in there. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Again, this is basically just a diary of how much I am working every day. This is what we got done today. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.